short of that big cold snap that hit Dallas a few years ago when things just went crazy and everything shut down and everything was frozen in place, short of that week there, that month that occurred, their highest electric bill hasn't been over $300 for a 10,000
Man.
square foot home. Very few people can say that in the country. Now, the reason I preface by saying that 1 month is because Texas has the surge pricing like Uber does.
With electricity.
Yeah. And so that month it got a little bit crazy. But outside of the crazy things, outside of the control of my client, yeah, it's a retirement home that they're really able to afford.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is based in the greater Phoenix, Arizona area and specializes in custom, ultra energy efficient and disaster resilient homes. Please welcome Robert Klob. Robert, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So interesting space to be in. I think these are two separate areas. And I mentioned before hopping on here that I'm in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. So we definitely need to have disaster resilient out here. Energy efficient, I don't know if they've reached out here, but I'm curious how you got into this space. It's really a very interesting, much needed space in two different worlds, right?
Two different worlds. And I came across a product about a little over 20 years ago that kind of is the best of both worlds. It's a building material that's been around since the 60s, but it gives that ultra energy efficiency, but at the same time gives you the disaster, essentially disaster proof construction. And built numerous homes that have taken on down the Keys in Florida and throughout the Gulf Coast that have taken direct hits from some of the big hurricanes we've had in the last 10 years with zero to no damage. It's really one of those things that it's a one size fits all. Whatever your challenge is, whatever you're trying to solve, these building products really do. They're the only ones in the market that hit the mark.
I want to get a little granular about this and ask you some questions. Maybe give away some of the gold, but not all of it. I think one of the interesting things that I've seen from being out here, I mean, we talk about Dominican Republic. I mean, where I am, Santo Domingo, there's, of course, can't drink the water, right? Electrical grid goes down all the time. It goes down practically daily. I had to get a backup battery inverter, which literally looks like two car batteries, DC car batteries, that then have an inverter that connects to the electrical panel so it gets AC current. But at the same point in time, these buildings are like indestructible. And I don't know, I'm not in the building world, but they have to withstand, hurricane force winds regularly. And in the U.S., you mentioned Florida. I lived in Texas for years. I lived in New Jersey for years. New Jersey, not so much, but definitely parts of Texas and Florida for sure. Most of the homes are still stick-built homes. Is there a reason for this? Is it just, the power of the dollar and, turning these properties, or is it harder, to kind of change course in the U.S.?
As they say, D, all the above. It's one of those things that kind of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what everyone's been doing forever. So why change? And humans, typically, we don't like change. So, however, as these storms come through, the floods, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the fires, or even here in Phoenix, we don't get all those things, but we get hot.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Having something that essentially creates a disaster-safe Yeti cooler to live in, it really gravitates toward a lot of people that are now, as energy prices are spiking, as these disasters are hitting billions and billions of dollars every year in recovery, that people are looking for alternative ways. How can we build better so our house doesn't burn down or get blown down, or our electric bill isn't, $800 a month.
Right.
And that's where the general public is now becoming a lot more educated on how they want to live. They're kind of forcing the market.
No question. No question. I think about cities in Texas, which is, of course, where I'm licensed. You've got Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio are the major four. And when you look at the home prices, Houston's home prices are so much lower. And it's almost unbelievable. You're like, is this the same state? What's going on here? It's Houston, Texas. Big metropolis. Why is it so much lower? And then it's because the insurance is so high and in many cases difficult, right? And so I think when you think about this, it would also have a huge impact if there could be maybe some wider market adoption of some of these disaster resilient structures. You might have not as high of the insurance. And then too, some of the setups for these types of structures are just totally, I would say, completely different than where you might see elsewhere. Like, I think of areas that I've seen lots of floods, and you have the homes, especially in Florida, the homes that are like on stilts, right, on like a second story type of thing. And you may have some of that in Santo Domingo or in Dominican Republic in general, but I haven't seen very much of it just because they're just so strong. They're literally built to like withstand these disasters. I want to pivot a bit here, Robert, and ask you about this space in general, the kind of disaster resilient space. Is this in the vernacular of most, builders and people who are investing in the space, or is this really even fringe in that world as well?
I think it's a little bit fringe in that world, but it's gaining popularity. I'm starting to get more and more clients that are requesting it for single-family, multifamily developments for a couple reasons. Number one, the disaster resistance, of course. If you can build a structure, whether it's an investment as a rental property or even as an investment for sale property, how can you set yourself apart from the house being built next door or the apartment community being built across the street? One of those ways is a safer living environment. The second part is if you can say, hey, our rent is the same price, but your electric bill is going to be half the price. That's going to get the people who are going to gravitate towards you versus the place across the street. And it doesn't cost you any more to do it. So, it's one of those things that investors now are really starting to take a look at these types of products to set themselves apart. It is one of those areas where that I've been able to show many times, even on a custom home development or custom home design, where yes, you might be paying a little bit more for your mortgage, but the offset you're getting from your utility bills is you're actually coming out net positive. And you mentioned Dallas earlier. One of the homes I designed in Dallas, 10,000 square foot home built out of concrete and foam system. It's called ICF. We haven't mentioned that yet. And, short of that big cold snap that hit Dallas a few years ago when things just went crazy and everything shut down and everything was frozen in place, short of that week there, that month that occurred, their highest electric bill hasn't been over $300 for a 10,000 square foot home. Very few people can say that in the country. Now, the reason I preface by saying that 1 month is because Texas has the surge pricing like Uber does.
With electricity.
Yeah. And so that month it got a little bit crazy. But outside of the crazy things, outside of the control of my client, it's a retirement home that they're really able to afford.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors. and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I want to ask you about energy efficient strategies in general. I think the general public is aware of solar panels, but in many cases, there might not always be the type of synergy between people who are selling solar panels and the manufacturers and then the mass adoption. It can sometimes feel like poorly implemented or people got the wrong array. So solar isn't the only way that people can make their homes efficient. What are some other ways that you've seen that people are making their homes efficient?
Well, and the thing, as a realtor, you understand one of the challenges with solar is it can also put an encumbrance on the title. And so
Right.
selling a property with solar, you've got to pay it off. Is there a lease? Is there a lien? I mean, there's so many challenges that can come with it. With our homes, what we're finding is, unless you're building off grid, there's no real, it's hard to pencil solar. And I'm in Phoenix. We got 330 days of sunshine a year. We should have solar on every house as far as I'm concerned. But with these ultra energy building materials and higher end air quality door and window systems, LED lighting, Energy Star appliances, things like that we're putting in all these homes, that the amount you're saving doesn't allow, you're saving more than the solar is going to save you.
Yeah, it's a huge, I'd say, added benefit that people aren't necessarily thinking about. Another aspect that this makes me think about is kind of the smart home revolution, being able to dim your lights, know when you're away, AC, this type of thing, smart bulbs. But it's also a big investment, right? But at the same point in time, it just seems like such a no-brainer. Is there really any downside to this technology?
I mean, it depends on who you're talking to on that. I guess there can be. The more you connect to the grid, the more that, someone could nefariously control your life in some way, shape, or form. But outside of that, no. I've connected a lot of things in my personal life, in my home, and there, without saying her name, because she'll go off here right next to me. There's a lady from Amazon that controls about every one of my lights and switches and everything else in my house right now.
That's right. That's right. And I want to ask you about the ability for people to maybe adopt some of these things that will tailor to their lifestyle, but also increase the value of their home. Because I think that's a big thing that people talk about. I mean, solar panels is one thing. There's this huge, I'd say, discrepancy between people who have solar and are big advocates of solar and then a lot of people who are realtors. I've actually been on both sides. I've actually worked in solar space and now I'm a licensed realtor. So I kind of see both sides of it. You mentioned the encumbrance, and that, of course, checks out. With some of these other energy efficient strategies and things that you can add to the home, it just seems like a no-brainer as far as from a value add perspective. We talk about sealing the home better, bulbs, AC, knowing when you're there versus not. Even like when I've seen it can like geo-track based on your position so that when you're driving towards your property that it knows and it starts to lower the temperature of the home and this type of thing. Do these actually increase the value of the home, or is it negligible?
I think it's kind of the beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I mean, if you have someone who's really into the tech level, that's gonna make that home or that building a lot more attractive to that person. I'll pick on some of my older clients that they don't need all those little bells and whistles and buttons, and they don't know how to do it anyway and don't care. So maybe they're not willing to pay a premium for that. However, they are willing to pay a premium for some of the benefits that can come with it. In Phoenix, we have a lot of we call them snowbirds. They're our winter visitors. They live here from November to April, and for them to be able to turn on their air conditioner when they leave North Dakota or something, and by the time the plane lands here in Phoenix and they get to their home, their home is nice and cool and ready to live in.
Huge deal.
Yeah, most definitely. So, those are some of those things that I think, there are added values in that technology space that are beneficial.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I want to pivot a bit here and ask you about maybe the connection and the synergy between energy efficiency and then disaster resilient homes. Two different worlds, right? And when I think of like rugged and tough, the first thing that comes to mind is not like solar panels and energy bulbs and this type of thing, you know? So was this something that progressed naturally, or did you kind of know when you started doing both that, hey, I'm going to pair these together?
Well, the product that I utilize, the insulated concrete forms, they're basically like styrofoam Legos that get filled full of concrete, and that's what the exterior walls of the house are. So the styrofoam gives you the energy efficiency, the concrete gives you the structural rigidity, and so it's just a product. There's 42 brands in North America that manufacture different variations of this product, but they really are like Legos. They have little nubs on the top. If we played with Lego as a kid, I play with them as an adult. It's the same kind of concept. So that's why I say I'm not marrying two things together. It's just coming natural with one product.
I think people are shocked to hear this because they say, well, you can't have something that's ultra rugged and ultra efficient, but you can. And I'm learning this myself now. Are there areas, of course, Florida, maybe Texas, the Gulf Coast in general, but you also mentioned Arizona, you know, an area where there's high heat. What about some other areas of the country? You know, you mentioned California with the wildfires, but also I'm thinking like Northeast as well, where it gets brutally cold and people might have a large electric bill in the winter. Are we seeing any adoption in these areas of the country as well?
Most definitely. I mean, the product was really honed. It was developed in Germany back in the 60s, but it was really honed in Canada and using it for basements and so on. And people just started going above ground from their basement walls to where we are today. We're building multi-story homes. In Toronto, there was a 22-story dormitory that was built with this product. I've been told there's a 50-story building being built down in Mexico with it. So there's really not a lot of limitations to it.
It's really nice to hear this kind of innovation is happening, and I think very much needed, especially juxtaposed with the traditional, which is very much energy inefficient, unfortunately. And we sorely need this kind of technology, especially when there's not going to be going down the price of energy anytime soon. So, Robert, we are coming up on time here, though. Where can folks go if maybe they'd like to reach out to you? Maybe they have a home that they would like some feedback on, or maybe they're looking at a new build and would like an energy efficient new build.
Yeah, probably the easiest way to get in touch with me is through my website, which is www.rkdzns.com. And they can fill out a form from there. My phone number's on there. It goes right to my cell phone. So feel free to call and reach out, and happy to answer any questions people have.
Robert, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.